and various different players and different models can come together as a composition. And then you can start to move the composition around or flip it from left to right, see it in reverse, and when you're done with it, store it.
In the Adoration of the Golden Calf, I could almost read it as a storyboard. It's almost giving instructions of how you would shoot it if you were to shoot it as a cinematic work. Through the way the lighting is, through the way that the people are configured and the choreography, it feels like movement.
The pinpoint sharpness of the mirror, the way it could actually capture the external world in such precision and clarity was compared at the time to the camera and what photography could achieve in capturing reality with sharpness, focus and precision.
I think Goltzius, being one of the very, very first and very thoroughly professional businessmen, image makers. And one man's erotica is another man's pornography. That's sort of a question of how you decide it. Yeah.
A vedute room is basically a space created by 18th century aristocrats to relive their wonderful visit to Venice. They would commission paintings by Canaletto and Guardi and decorate a room with just those kind of pictures. And the remarkable things about those two pictures is that when you stand right in the middle and look from one side to the other, it's as if you were on a gondola visiting Venice. These were acquired very likely by the first Marquis of Hertford, possibly in Venice, maybe directly from the painter himself. And these are kind of questions we're going to be asking and hopefully answering by the end of the project.
In the morning, he would paint facing eastwards across Waterloo Bridge. In the late morning and afternoon, he would paint facing southwards down towards Charing Cross Bridge and the Houses of Parliament. And in the late afternoon, he would go to St Thomas's Hospital, where he had permission to paint facing across the Thames towards the Houses of Parliament, which he would paint with the evening light coming down behind the buildings. When Monet moved to the village of Vétheuil in 1878, he used the countryside around the village to paint from. He painted the village, for example, from his boat on the river. He painted it from across the River Seine, from the village of Lavacourt on the other side of the river, and from other vantage points.
A man in a red doublet kneels on a sheaf as he binds it. A woman bends almost double to bring another bundle together. Her forehead rests on the weed, her arms stretched to surround it.
The ingredients were ground and mixed together using a stone muller. Once dried, a pointed metal stylus would leave a mark when drawn across the paper. Metal point and silver point marks are quite faint. An opaque white paint, known as body colour, could add highlights.
You're assuming everyone will be painting something that they would want to exist rather than something dystopian or...
No, we're having a conversation about the future and about human beings, how they behave on the planet. What people paint is really very much dependent on their own internal narrative. It doesn't have to be anything.
All of these stories and projects are very different. The emotions in them are different, the atmospheres are different. So it would be crazy to draw them all in the same way. Even in one story, this is a book, my last book, Black Dog here, is a series of dreams, but each dream is very different, the atmosphere is very different. And what the dreams are trying to say, what the little pieces of narrative are trying to say are very different. And so it's really trying to find the right tone of voice, the right media, the right colours, the right marks that will express the emotions and feelings in those stories in the most effective way.